Techniques of propaganda being used are exactly identical. This is what Hitler did, this is what Marcos did, this is what Stalin did. There's a civil war going on here, and for the Prime Minister not to put his foot in, what kind of national unity is this? Let us say they employ 1 lakh people in Ayodhya. You really wish to look into my eyes and say this will make a difference to unemployment problem in India. And it is the most cynical and brazen use of a religious issue for political purposes, which is illegal, which is unconstitutional, which is against the ethos of this country.
Mr. Yadav, thank you so much for your time again. We briefly spoke yesterday. We are speaking again. What have you discovered after having come to Nagaland from Manipur?
What I discovered in Manipur was that all the 3 communities want a resolution. That they are surprised, disgusted that the current regime doesn't want any resolution, and that they look for a change. In Nagaland, what I see once again is an urge to resolve a very long-standing dispute. As you know, the first real insurgency in India was in Nagaland. So it's a state where there has been a strong movement which said we are not part of India, we will remain separate from India, and there has been a general sense that, in Nagaland, Delhi politicians, Indian politicians have no purchase. But you saw today the way in which people respond to the leader of Congress party, which is a very weak party in Nagaland. Congress is not a major force in Nagaland. Despite all that, there has been a genuine public response in good numbers. But more than numbers, if you look into their eyes, these are eyes which wish to relate to the rest of the country.
So, the obvious question is, bheer, ikattha hona, crowd showing up, and the crowd then translating into votes are 2 different things. We had seen Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, very cinematic when you see it, watch it on TV. But then, did it actually translate into votes in favor of Congress? Because we have not really seen the effect in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and also Madhya Pradesh. Congress lost its own ground, like bastion, like Chhattisgarh.
Look, let's be clear about what a yatra can do and cannot do. No yatra can win you election by itself. What Bharat Jodo Yatra did was that it shifted the narrative. It made possible to speak about mohabbat. It brought Congress back to the center stage. It transformed the personal image of Rahul Gandhi. Is that enough to win election in Karnataka? No. Even Karnataka election was not won only by Bharat Jodo Yatra. Bharat Jodo Yatra was one factor that helped Congress. But what happened in the last instance is, rejuvenated by that yatra, Congress leadership really came together in a faction-ridden state and really fought the BJP, and in Telangana something similar happened. Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, Bharat Jodo Yatra was a factor. It was a positive factor. But was that factor enough to change the outcome? No. Let's say hypothetically, this yatra changed 3% vote. Is that 3% vote enough to win elections? No, depends on the overall margin. So what the yatra changed was the mood of the Congress workers. It changed the narrative, and it changed Rahul Gandhi's personal image. Is that enough to win election?
That personal image of Rahul Gandhi, is it enough to position him as against Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
I personally am of the opinion that the opposition, India coalition, should not try to make it Modi versus ex-leader of India coalition, whether it's Mamata Banerjee or Nitish Kumar or Rahul Gandhi. I don't think it's the smartest move. To my mind, the opposition should make it Modi versus Mudda, which is to say, make real issues, bring to the fore real issues, and to force BJP to speak about issues. BJP wants to run away from any assessment of its actual governance record.
पर है कहाँ पे मुद्दा सर? ऑपोजिशन आज भी इतना बिखरा हुआ दिख रहा है. आप कह रहे हैं कि इंडिया अलायंस को ये करना चाहिए, लेकिन इंडिया अलायंस कागज़ कलम में हो, लेकिन कहाँ पे है? आप देखिए सीट शेयरिंग लेके अभी भी एक डिफरेंसेस है बंगाल में, केरला में. वी सॉ मायावती BSP deciding to go solo. So where is the alliance?
Look, as far as the seat sharing part is concerned, there is bound to be differences. BSP incidentally is not part of the India coalition. Yes. But some bit of give and take, Khijstan is quite normal. This happens within BJP as well. When we have forgotten when BJP and Shiv Sena had an alliance last time, they were abusing each other personally till the day before the alliance. What is the alliance between BJP and Akali Dal? So in alliance politics, a bit of theatre, a bit of Khijstan, etc., tensions are very much
Politics
part
is
of
known
alliance.
to make strange bedfellows. कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा जुगाड़ अगर जीत गए तो.
नहीं, अगर जीत गए नहीं. But I'm saying is that there is, I personally do expect that over the next couple of weeks or so, many of these wrinkles should be ironed out.
Okay.
That
And
we should see seat adjustment. About the mudda, that's a separate thing. I personally think there is absolutely no dearth of real issues.
What are the issues? What are the issues according to you?
The biggest issue in this country is unemployment.
Well, BJP is saying राम मंदिर हो रहा है, अभी उधर पे एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ेगा.
राम मंदिर से एम्प्लॉयमेंट बनेगा है. या सो
नहीं, सोशल मीडिया में है क्या? इधर पे रेस्टोरेंट्स आएंगे, ये होगा वो होगा, नौकरी होगी. हम हंस रहे.
So Ayodhya town employment, let us say they employ, Ayodhya is a small town. Let us say they employ 1 lakh people in Ayodhya. You really wish to look into my eyes and say this will make a difference to unemployment problem in India? I mean, we have a situation where nearly 1.5 crore people are entering the workforce every year and are not getting employment. BJP had promised 2 crore jobs per year. They have not given those 2 crores in 10 years.
Promised 15 lakh rupees.
That of course has been now officially called a jumla. But what I'm saying is, and they promised, they said doubling of farmers' income. Forget doubling. Have they released data on what the income is today? They can't even release the data. Why are they withholding figures on poverty of this country? So there are real issues. Unemployment is an issue. Inflation is an issue, state of economy is an issue, looting of this country. Adani, where has Adani made his money from? This is an issue, and national security is an issue. These are very, very real and substantial issues. The only question is whether opposition is successful in transforming these potential issues into political and electoral issues.
You think they can?
They can, but are they doing so? I don't know. I think a lot more has to be done.
And what about Ram Mandir? The kind of mood which is now there, do you think Ram Mandir, the issue, the fever and the fervor will in a way overshadow all these other muddas that you're talking about?
That's what BJP would like to. That's exactly why it has been...
Do you think there is a possibility?
As I said, this is BJP's game plan. This is BJP's dream scenario. The only real issue that is left is whether the opposition would simply watch BJP enact its dream scenario or the opposition would do something about it, because what is being done is against any dharma, astha, Mariyada. Every one of those things is being violated here. The opposition has to find a way, to stand up to this nonsense and to raise real issues, because you cannot simply oppose someone else's issues.
So you are saying that BJP is using Ram Mandir for political issues?
Is there any doubt?
I'm asking
Can
you,
anyone in this country say that what else is it? The date is being decided. Now the Purohit who had decided the date is officially saying that I was told कि February से पहले का कोई date ढूंढ दीजिए. So what is it that we are looking at? It is the election code of conduct. Why is it that a half-built temple is being inaugurated? Because it has to be before election. Why is it that the Prime Minister is observing 11 days of this vrata? Because of using this issue for electoral purposes. I have absolutely no doubt that this is the grossest violation of constitutional Mariyada, of the legal Mariyada, of the dharmic Mariyada, and it is the most cynical and brazen use of a religious issue for political purposes, which is illegal, which is unconstitutional, which is against the ethos of this country.
Well, the current mood which is there, I would go back to the question once again. The very fact that people are celebrating a Muslim man's house is being demolished and people are beating drums outside. And those videos are going viral on social media. The celebration of so much of hatred within communities, it is there. You just can't deny. Do you think election in such an environment can give any room or any elbow room to opposition to bring mudda before religion?
2-3 things. One is that something like this is so much against the Mariyada of Rama, so much against the Hindu traditions, and any civilization that celebrates something like this is digging its own grave. Now you're saying this is being celebrated. My question would be, well, where? On television screens? Yes, on television screen it is being. And that, I think, I'm afraid, is why I think the independent news media, at least mainstream media, is dead in this country.
How much of Northeast, what you hear and see, can have a effect on what really transpires in Hindi heartland? Because
I don't expect Northeast to affect the Hindi heartland, obviously. Issues of Hindi heartland will be, but I refuse to believe that the real issue of the Hindi heartland is Ram Mandir. Although the media is working overtime to turn it into an issue. This is what the BJP would like it to be. This is what the mainstream media would like it to be. But is that really the issue? Issues in politics do not exist. They are created. And right now we are seeing the largest invention of a non-existent issue into an issue so as to bury everything else.
Sir, you have been to Manipur, sir. Everyone says हर एक इंसान के दिल में भगवान राम बसते हैं. The BJP spokespersons would say that. मणिपुर के लोगों में राम क्यों नहीं दिखे BJP को, सर?
These are the standard tricks that BJP has been using over and over again. Rama and the spirit of Lord Rama is quite widespread in this country, even beyond the Hindus. You see that in Sikh religion, you see that among many Muslim saints, even contemporary writers. But what we witnessed in Manipur is against any possible Mariyada. So this goes against anything to do with Rama and Rama's spirit. Manipur is is only partly a Hindu state. It's a Hindu majority state. But what some people forget is that Hinduism in this country is not only about Lord Rama. This country has hundreds of versions of religion, of Hinduism itself. And BJP wants one religion, one way of celebrating that religion. So it's not only one nation, one election, one nation, one election, one religion, one God, one book and one leader. This is what BJP wants.
And we also saw the leader recently being photographed with cows inside his...
Incidentally and funnily, those are not Indian cows.
Right.
I mean, I know some cows. I've been, in my childhood, I've lived among buffaloes and cows. And I can tell you, none of them, and I've never seen cows of that kind in this country. I don't know where they imported it from. And that kind of as someone who understands media, you would know how many cameras and drones must have been used in order to produce that. So that's theatre. If the Prime Minister is at all, cow is a serious symbol. It's a sacred symbol. And in this country, millions of cows are out there being fed plastic. If this government is at all serious, even about cows, come out with a national scheme. The Prime Minister had promised a scheme in Uttar Pradesh. He said, within 3 weeks of the election, we will come out with a scheme on cows. Where is that scheme? All this is theatre.
So it is all for pictures, photos, and all. Finally,
else?
why do you think he is doing that? Is it like to paint a larger than life image of Prime Minister Modi? I was talking to somebody just 2 days back, and the person said, "हमारे लिए तो मोदी जी राम है, भी हमारे लिए मोदी जी गोविंदा भी है." So you think that's the kind of image? Somebody also told me that slowly Modi ji would also be portrayed as the image of Swami Vivekananda.
All dictators do that all over the world. Hitler used exactly the same kind of techniques, the same kind of stuff. So it's a standard stuff used by all the dictators, authoritarian leaders for their image creation. I do think Indian public one day will see through this nonsense.
You just compared Prime Minister Modi with Hitler.
I said the techniques of propaganda being used are exactly identical. This is what Hitler did. This is what Marcos did. This is what Stalin did.
Dictatorial style.
All authoritarian rulers try and create this kind of image through their publicity machine. And one day public gets to see through that.
And it's sad that he never came down to Manipur.
Well, one day Manipur would also show you the truths. And what I saw...
But does it sadden you the Prime Minister did not come to Manipur?
It shocks me as a citizen of them. There is a civil war going on here, and for the Prime Minister not to put his foot in and not to make any sensible declarations so far and just allow the state to burn. What kind of national unity is this? And their claims about nationalism, to my mind, anyone who is at all serious about nationalism and national unity, the first thing they should do is to visit Manipur. Second stop should be Nagaland.
So not doing so, he's an anti-national.
To my mind, yes, certainly. And I've repeatedly said RSS and BJP are anti-national groups.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yadav, for speaking with News The Truth NTT. Thank you for your time. And as your yatra continues, we will be tracking it down. Hopefully, we'll be connecting more in the future. So there you heard Yogendra Yadav, political activist, mincing no words, compared the current culture existing in the country and, of course, vis-a-vis Prime Minister Narendra Modi with that of the dictatorial regime of Hitler. And he says, by not visiting Manipur, by letting Manipur burn, by letting Manipur suffer, the deepest and the highest idea of nationalism has been betrayed, and those who allowed that to happen are anti-nationals. Yogendra Yadav says BJP and RSS are anti-nationals and also fears that entire Ram Mandir inauguration, which is slowly becoming an issue, he fears could also become a political issue, and whether the effect can be cut through by Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra and an united opposition, we have to wait and see. Yogendra Yadav expects opposition should assert mudda over anything else. With video journalist Ronnie Shatra here in Nagaland, this is Tamal Saha for News The Truth, NTT.